No need to hold them. Play Nutso. You can download the app on Google Play or the Amazon App Store. From the main menu, hit the multiplayer button. You can hit the players button to invite friends. Or you can just create a game and wait for random players to come join you to play. In our case, we have Trumpy, Mr. Met, and Cyan Nutso. Oh, by the way, I'm Cyan Nutso. Cyan Nutso is the dealer. You can tell by the blue ring around his icon. He bets, and I bet. Trumpy bets, and Mr. Met folds. The flop does nothing for me, but I got potential because I have the flip-flop wild card, so I'm going to bet. Trumpy stays in, and we get the river, which is a 4. Really doesn't help me, so I'm going to play my flip-flop wild card now. The new flop has given me a 5 high straight. It is now Trumpy's turn to play. And he folds, so on to the river. Cyan Nutso calls, and I show him that I have a 5 high straight and won the hand. My score is now at 58, and I'm taking the lead. It's on to the second hand now. So I'm dealt pocket zeros. Not the greatest of hands, but I'm still going to bet. Trumpy folds. Mr. Bet bets. Now it's on to the flop. I get another 0 on the flop, and I now have a set of zeros. It's Mr. Met's action. He plays the swap wild card. He takes my pocket zeros and leaves me with the worst hand. Cyan Nutso folds, and the turn gives me an inside straight. But 3 cups up on the river, I can still win, so I'll bet. Yep, the 3 did not come, so I'll fold. That's the beauty of Nutso. When you think you have the best hand, you don't have it for long. Okay, to save a little time, we're going to pick up action in hand number 6. I have a 6-2, and I fold right away. Trumpy is taking his time, but he doesn't have too much time to take because the timer only gives you 30 seconds before you're folded automatically. I see that one of my fellow opponents has left a message. This is indicated by the yellow text bubble at the bottom right hand of the screen. Click on the chat bubble to bring up the chat box. You can see we have a message from Mr. Met. I guess he had a flush. Good for him. Okay, here's the flop. Cyan Nutso bets. Mr. Met folds. Cyan Nutso wins, and we have a chip down where every player loses half their chips. Let's pick up action on hand number 8. I'm not too impressed with it, and I'm probably going to fold. So I'm going to take the time now to send a message to a friend. I click on the bubble, bring up the chat box, and start typing. Telling them that I have a nice hand. I don't think they'll believe it, but that's how you use the chat box to send a message out. I eventually fold. Hand 9 is dealt, and I have a 5-1 suited red. Cyan Nutso plays the pay the big blind wild card, costing me another chip. Trumpy takes the button, so he'll be the dealer for the next hand. The flop gives me a pair of 5s and a flush possibility. Cyan Nutso folds, and I bet. Trumpy bets, and we see the turn. The turn does not help me, but I will continue to bet because I still have the possibility of the flush and improving on the river. I do not improve on the river. I only have a pair of 5s, so I'm going to fold. Which was a good thing I did because Trumpy had a pair of Nutsos. Trumpy took the pot, but at least I saved myself a chip. And in a tight race, every chip matters. Okay, we're now on a hand 10. I have a 0-9, not suited. Trumpy bets. Mr. Met bets. Cyan Nutso folds, and I fold also. Trumpy plays the muck hand and tries to muck Mr. Met, but Mr. Met has a Nutso, so Trumpy has to fold his own hand. That's why we call the game Nutso. Let's move on to the next hand. I have a Nutso and a 4. I'm still a short stack with only 13 chips. I'm going to take a chance and bet. Flop does not help me at all. Cyan Nutso bets. I fold. Trumpy bets. The blue Nutso is the turn card. Mr. Met bets. Cyan Nutso bets. Trumpy takes the turn card, and we get a new card, 8 red. River's dealt. Mr. Met bets. Cyan Nutso bets. And Trumpy bets. Cyan Nutso wins with the boat, 3s over 9s. Cyan Nutso is a chip leader with 34 chips. I'm a short stack with 11. It's on to hand 12. I have a Nutso with the weak kicker, so I fold. Trumpy plays show a card, and Cyan Nutso shows us a purple 5. The flop comes out. Cyan Nutso folds. Guess he did not have a 6, has a second card. Trumpy bets, Mr. Met bets, and we're on to the turn. 3 green. Trumpy bets. Mr. Met bets. We get a 4 purple on the river. Trumpy bets. Mr. Met bets. Trumpy wins with 2 pairs, 6s over 3s, but we chip down. Action picks up in hand number 14. I have a Nutso and a flip-flop wild card, so I bet. I'm running low on chips, and I think it's time to make a stand. Trumpy folds. Mr. Met bets. The flop doesn't help me out, so I decide to play my flip-flop wild card and hope for the best. Lucky me, I got a pair of Nutsos, but I'm only down to 1 chip. Up, Mr. Met plays up the river, and fortunately for me, I get a Nutso high straight. I'm back in the game. I'm still short stack, but at least I have some breathing room. Okay, let's pick up action in hand number 16. I have 7-5 suited. We're waiting on Mr. Met, who bets. Cyan Nutso bets. I'm going to take a shot and bet. Trumpy folds, and we're on to the flop. I have a pair of 7s. Mr. Met bets. Cyan Nutso folds. I'm going to play. Thinking my pair of 7s is still good. And Mr. Met folds, so I win the hand. I have 15 chips, and now I take it over second place. I'm feeling good. So I think I'm going to invite Mr. Met to be my friend. To do that, I click on his icon and click on the Add Friend. Hopefully he'll say yes. Back to hand 17. Cyan Nutso bets, and I'm going to play my Pay Big Blind wild card to get a few more chips. I have an 8-3 offsuit, not really good hand. Trumpy bets. The flop does nothing for me, so I will fold. It's Trumpy's turn. He folds. Mr. Met bets, and we're on to the turn. Cyan Nutso bets. Mr. Met bets. It's on to the river. Cyan Nutso bets. Mr. Met plays a swap hand wild card. He takes a 6-0 purple from Cyan Nutso to win the hand with the Nutso high flush. Poor Cyan Nutso. Let's pick up action on hand number 19. The river has just been dealt, and it's Trumpy's turn. Trumpy plays the flip the flop card. Mr. Met bets, and Cyan Nutso folds. Mr. Met wins with the boat, 3s over Nutsos. We also chip down this hand, with Mr. Met leading with 11 chips. Hand number 20 is dealt, and I have 8-1 off suit. Trumpy's first act, and he takes the button. He will be the dealer for the next hand. Mr. Met bets. Cyan Nutso folds. I'll bet. The flop gives me a pair. Not too much to brag about. Trumpy plays the up the river card. The river gives me 2 pairs, 8 over 1s, but there's a flush possibility out there, so I'm going to fold. Folding was a mistake, because I would have had 2 pairs, and that would have won. Congratulations, Mr. Met. You're taking the lead with 16 chips. We are on to hand 21. Trumpy's first to act. He bets. Mr. Met bets. Cyan Nutso is all in, so I'm just going to replace my Nutso card because there was no more betting. The rest of the community cards were dealt, and Cyan Nutso wins. He lives to play another hand. We begin hand 22. I have a Nutso and an 8 off suit. But Cyan Nutso plays a show card, and since I don't see any other card, everyone gets to see my Nutso card. I'm still going to bet because I have a very good starting hand. Trumpy goes all in, no more betting. I win the hand with 2 pairs. Nutso's over 2s. Trumpy's gone. We pick up play at hand 24. I have 9-4 suited. We see the flop. I have straight and flush possibilities, so I'll bet. I pick up a pair of 4 on the turns. I'm still going to bet. And the river helps me out, giving me 2 pairs, but someone could have a straight. But Mr. Met folds, and I win the hand. I take the lead in the chip count with 13. And now we will play hand number 25. Both Mr. Met, Cyan Nutso bets, and I stay in. I get a pair of 8s on the flop. Mr. Met stays in. Cyan Nutso stays in, and I stay in. Hoping my pair of 8s hold up. Mr. Met changes the flop. I now have nothing. Nutso so cruel. Cyan Nutso plays. I fold. Mr. Met goes all in, swaps hands, hoping to get the better hand than Cyan Nutso. And they chop. With the 2 pairs, 4s over 3s, but we chip down. We're getting into crunch time, folks. Anybody can win this game. Fortunately for me, I pick up a Hey Big Blind and add on a few extra chips. All in for Mr. Met. No more dealing, and I win the hand with a pair of 8s. We're down to heads-up competition between me and Cyan Nutso. Yep, gotta bet anything at this time, so I put in a chip. I'm not getting anything good, but I'm gonna fake him out. Hopefully he'll fold. He's a stubborn guy, Miss Cyan Nutso. I'm gonna try one more time. This is it. He's probably gonna go all in. But no, he folds, and I take a commanding chip lead, 13-1. This is hand number 28. It could be the final hand. I'm going to check out my score. I had 470 points. Cyan Nutso went all in. I called. I get a set of 9s, and I win the tournament. Congratulations to me, Cyan Nutso, and I'm going to thank all my fellow players. You can see at the end of the game, I go back to the menu, and my score has been updated to 570. You can go to the scoreboard, check out the Lido list between your friends and all users. I'm currently second. Cyan Nutso still is the best player. And that's it, folks. Buy Nutso the board game if you're interested. It's available at Amazon and PayPal. And I want to thank you for watching my video. Remember, no need to hold 'em. Play Nutso.